Excuse me, I just have a little story about that book. I'm a writer myself.
Yes.
And 16 years ago, I met my wife at a dinner organized in my town, my hometown, but she lived in Paris, I lived there 150 kilometers away, and so I didn't know how to meet her again, so I decided to send her the book I love the best, and it was This or That.
Oh, this is nice.
And 16 years later, we've got 2 daughters. Right?
Oh, well, that's very moving.
And the second one, her second name is Siri.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that's very.
That's
So who am I dedicating this
to Veronique.
Veronique. Okay.
I've got that one too.
If you're writing a novel, the big question that nobody asks is, why one story and not another? Theoretically, you can write anything. You can write anything. So why do novelists write one story and not another? What is guiding the decision? How can you tell a sentence is right or wrong? Well, because it feels right or it feels wrong. So the guidance is emotional. You can write a story about flying zebras, and if the reader believes it, it doesn't matter what it is, right? But again, I'm saying that stories are only right or wrong because the writer feels that they're right or wrong, and that has to bear some relationship, I think, to the personal emotional experience.
Thank you very much. I was there on Monday night.
Oh yes. Oh, at
Yes.
the lecture.
Yes.
Yeah, the dualism lecture. Yeah.
I mean, it was wonderful. For me, it was wonderful, and I learned a lot.
What is your work? What do you do?
We are lecturers.
The board. So who am I writing this to? Just see.
Marie.
Marie. Okay.
And what you said about emotion and body, and,
Yes.
and even in research.
Yes.
In research, it's so important, and it's behind us.
Einstein said an important and interesting thing. He said, the creative process has nothing to do with signs of any kind, either mathematical or linguistic. He said, my creativity is visual, muscular, and emotional. I think this is one of the deepest comments about creativity. I think it crosses scientists, mathematicians, poets, novelists. Everybody works the same way. It has nothing to do with signs until late in the game. We do not see passively. We are active creators of what we perceive in the world. And we are creatures who are constantly, actively perceiving patterns and creating meaning out of those patterns. But we're not, this idea that we're kind of cameras is a completely false notion of perception.
And I'm a bookseller, and it's when I read What I Love, I thought everybody should read that book.
Well, that's very kind.
And it's the book that gave me, when I read it, I thought I want to be a bookseller to make it read to everyone.
Oh, well, that's very moving. Thank you. What is the relationship between fiction, inventing a story, and personal experience? Any good book or any good book of work of art is going to be bigger than the artist, him or herself. It's going to be more than, because it will draw on subliminal forces that will be responsible for what is going on more than the writer, him or herself, knows. I never would have written The Shaking Women if I hadn't already been immersed in psychiatry, neuroscience, philosophy. I mean, it came after. And actually, when I had my first shaking fit, I had already been asked to give a lecture at Columbia Medical School at 168th Street. And I thought, What a great idea. I'll take my fit, my own fit, and I'll use it to talk about how a psychiatrist, a neuroscientist, and a psychoanalyst would look at this in different ways.
And this one's from me, from Maggie, please. M-A-G-G Maggie. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you.
So are you English?
No, I'm Irish.
You're Irish.
I'm Irish, living in France, and
yes.
I'm an editor. I acquire foreign fiction for a French publishing house. So.
I-A-G-A-T.
Oh.
Yes. With a Thank you.
So you're a nice man. Okay, you go have a smoke, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay. Thank you. Paul used this great quote from Mandelstam, which is Mandelstam, the great Russian poet, said, "I wonder how many sandals Dante wore out when he was, writing the Divine Comedy." So it's a good thing. Walking, thinking, writing, these are all connected to motor activities, and the more we know, the more we will begin to connect these this kind of muscular motion to thinking, writing, and what they call higher processes. Every day I get up and I just hope I have time to finish the next book. Huh?
Yes.
So it's all about urgency now. I just want to live to write. Period.